Keynotes for the speech. Say this 100 times every day. 1. The power of the spoken word. Words have the power to shape our destiny. What we speak, we believe, and what we believe, we become. When we repeat words of faith, courage, and victory, they take root in our hearts and begin to transform our lives. Let us be mindful of what we say, for our words shape not just our future, but also the future of those around us. 2. Faith comes by hearing. We are shaped by what we constantly hear. If we fill our ears with doubt, fear, and negativity, we will live in defeat. But if we fill our hearts with words of hope, truth, and faith, we will walk in victory. Speaking powerful truths over our lives again and again is not just a habit. It's a spiritual discipline. 3. Declaring the truth over your life. There is truth that stands the test of time. Truth that is unshaken by circumstances. When we declare truth over our lives, words of strength, peace, and purpose, we align ourselves with something greater than ourselves. No matter what we face, if we speak life, we will walk in life. 4. Consistency unlocks breakthroughs. A single word spoken once may not change a life, but a word spoken 100 times every day will change a heart, a mind, and a destiny. The power is not just in speaking. It's in the repetition, the belief, and the unwavering faith behind those words. What you say consistently, you will live consistently. Say this 100 times every day. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I stand before you today with a simple truth that can change your life. A truth that is as old as time, but as fresh as the breath in your lungs. Breaks. What if I told you that the words you speak every day are shaping your future? What if I told you that just 100 words spoken with faith could transform your life, your family, and your destiny? Words are not just sounds, they are seeds. Every time you speak, you are planting something in the soil of your heart. If you plant doubt, fear, and worry, don't be surprised when anxiety grows. But if you plant faith, hope, and courage, you will reap a harvest of strength and victory. The greatest battles in life are not fought on battlefields, but in the mind, in the heart, and in the soul. And one of the most powerful weapons we have is our tongue. The words we say determine the life we live. I challenge you today, find the words of truth, find the words of life, and say them 100 times every day. Say, I'm strong. Even when you feel weak, say, I am victorious. Even when you feel defeated, say, I'm loved. Even when the world makes you feel forgotten. Because the truth is this, what you repeat, you will believe, you will become. Let me ask you, what if David had spoken words of fear instead of faith when he faced Goliath? What if Moses had spoken doubt instead of courage when he stood before the Red Sea? What if the great men and women of faith had let their circumstances define their words instead of letting their words define their circumstances? You are no different. You have the same power within you. So today, I don't just encourage you, I urge you, speak words of life every single day. Say them once, say them again. Say them 100 times until your heart believes, until your mind aligns, until your spirit rises up and walks in the victory that is already yours. Because the words you say today will create the future you live tomorrow. God bless you. Words hold immense power. They shape our thoughts, direct our actions, and ultimately define the course of our lives. Every great movement, every breakthrough, every transformation in history began with words, spoken with conviction, repeated with purpose, and believed with unwavering faith. The words we allow to take root in our hearts, whether spoken by others or by ourselves, have the potential to build us up or tear us down. They are not just sounds carried by the wind. They are seeds planted in the soil of our souls, growing into the reality we live. From the very beginning of time, the spoken word has carried creative force. The world itself was spoken into existence. Life and death, success and failure, fear and courage. These are all products of the words we embrace and the words we declare. When we speak in faith, we are not merely making sounds. We are aligning our spirit with something greater, something unseen, something that has the power to change everything. Consider this. When a person constantly speaks words of doubt and fear, those words begin to shape their reality. They hesitate to take risks. They expect failure before they even begin. And they live in a cycle of negativity that becomes their truth. But on the other hand, a person who speaks words of hope, strength, and victory, even in the midst of struggle, begins to see those very things manifest in their life. Their words create an atmosphere of possibility, an expectation of triumph, and an unshakable confidence that propels them forward. Have you ever noticed how a child who is constantly told they are smart, capable, and strong will often rise to meet those words? And how a child who is repeatedly told they are worthless, weak, or a failure will begin to believe those words and live accordingly? That is the power of the spoken word. It shapes identity, influences self-perception, and determines the direction of a person's life. And this truth is not just for children. It applies to every one of us. Many people walk through life carrying the weight of words spoken over them years ago. A single negative statement spoken at the wrong time can plant seeds of insecurity and fear that last a lifetime. But the good news is that words also have the power to heal, to restore, and to transform. Just as harmful words can hold someone back, words of encouragement, affirmation, and truth can set someone free. History has shown us time and time again that those who rise above adversity do so not because of their circumstances, but because of their words. Some of the greatest leaders, visionaries, and overcomers faced incredible opposition. Yet they continued to speak words of belief, determination, and purpose. They refused to let their words align with their challenges. Instead, they used their words to declare victory before it even became a reality. Think about someone who has endured suffering and yet speaks of hope. Their words do not ignore reality. Rather, they redefine it. They see the struggle but choose to declare strength. They feel the fear but choose to speak courage. And in doing so, they shift the atmosphere around them. What we say not only affects us, but it also impacts those around us. When we speak life, we inspire life. When we speak faith, we build faith. When we speak hope, we spread hope. Our words have the ability to lift someone from despair, to remind them of their worth, and to stir something deep within them that they didn't even know was there. And so, the question we must ask ourselves daily is this: what am I speaking over my life? What words am I allowing to shape my future? Are they words of fear or are they words of faith? Are they words of defeat or are they words of victory? Are they words that limit or are they words that empower? The truth is, we will live out the words we consistently speak. If we declare that we are strong, we will begin to walk in strength. If we declare that we are blessed, we will begin to recognize blessings all around us. If we declare that we have purpose, we will begin to see doors open where before we saw only walls. This is why it is so important to be intentional with our words. We must guard our tongues, not only from speaking harm over others, but from speaking harm over ourselves. We must replace words of doubt with words of faith, words of worry with words of peace, and words of fear with words of boldness. Some might argue that simply speaking words will not change anything. But the truth is, the words we speak shape the thoughts we think, and the thoughts we think shape the actions we take. It is not about empty repetition. It is about aligning our minds, our hearts, and our spirits with a greater truth, a greater reality, and a greater purpose. So today, make the decision to speak words of life. Speak them in the morning when you rise. Speak them in the moments of struggle. Speak them in the face of fear, and speak them over your future. Because the words you speak today will shape the reality you walk in tomorrow. What we hear repeatedly, we begin to believe. It is a principle woven into the very fabric of human nature. Our thoughts, our beliefs, and even our actions are shaped by the words that fill our ears day after day. From the time we are children, we are conditioned by the voices around us, the voices of parents, teachers, friends, and even strangers. Some of these voices speak life, encouragement, and truth, while others sow doubt, fear, and insecurity. Whether we realize it or not, the things we hear become the foundation upon which we build our lives. There is a reason why people who constantly hear words of discouragement find it difficult to step out in confidence. It is because those words have taken root deep within them. If someone is told repeatedly that they are not good enough, not strong enough, not capable enough, they begin to internalize those words. Over time, they accept them as truth, even when they are not. But on the other hand, a person who hears words of affirmation, hope, and strength begins to carry themselves differently. They walk with the confidence that is not based on what they see, but on what they have heard and believed. Faith comes by hearing. When we hear words of faith, words that remind us of our purpose, our strength, and our destiny, we begin to rise to that level. We begin to see beyond our circumstances and walk with an expectation that something greater is ahead. But if all we ever hear are words of negativity, doubt, and fear, we will begin to live under the weight of those words. This is why we must be intentional about what we listen to. Think about how easily a single negative comment can linger in the mind. You could receive 10 compliments in a day, but if one person speaks criticism or doubt, that one voice can overshadow all the good. Why? Because what we hear has the power to shape our thinking. And if we dwell on the wrong words, they will begin to influence our beliefs and ultimately our actions. This is why we must surround ourselves with words of faith, words that lift us up, and words that remind us of who we truly are. It is not enough to simply reject negative words. We must actively fill our ears with truth. Faith does not grow in silence. It grows by hearing again and again until it takes root so deeply that no storm, no challenge, no setback can uproot it. This is why repetition is so powerful. The more we hear something, the more it becomes ingrained in our spirit. That is why fear spreads so quickly, because it is repeated over and over again. But if fear can spread through repetition, then so can faith. Imagine a person facing an impossible situation. If they listen to the voices of doubt, they will shrink back in fear. But if they hear words of faith, words that remind them of their strength and the possibilities ahead, something within them will begin to shift. They will begin to see the situation differently, not because the circumstances have changed, but because their belief has changed. And belief changes everything. Throughout history, great men and women have accomplished extraordinary things, not because they had all the resources, not because they never faced obstacles, but because they heard the right words and believed them. They surrounded themselves with voices of encouragement, with words that reminded them of their purpose, and with truths that fueled their faith. They did not allow fear to dictate their destiny. Instead, they chose to listen to faith. But faith is not just about what we hear from others. It is also about what we speak to ourselves. Sometimes the most powerful words we will ever hear are the ones we say to ourselves in the quiet moments when no one else is around. If we constantly tell ourselves that we are not good enough, we will live as though we are not. But if we declare that we are strong, capable, and victorious, those words will take hold in our hearts and produce a life that reflects them. This is why speaking words of faith daily is so important. It is not just a habit. It is a lifeline. When we fill our ears with truth, we begin to rise above our doubts and walk in confidence. When we hear words of encouragement, we find the strength to keep going. And when we remind ourselves again and again of the purpose within us, nothing can stop us from fulfilling it. So today, be mindful of what you are hearing. Surround yourself with words that build your faith, not words that tear it down. Speak words of life over yourself and let them echo in your heart until they become your reality. Because faith comes by hearing, and what you hear today will shape the life you live tomorrow. The words we declare over our lives hold power beyond what we can see. They are not just empty sounds or casual expressions. They carry weight, shaping the way we think, feel, and ultimately live. What we declare over ourselves becomes the foundation of our belief system. If we constantly speak words of defeat, fear, and limitation, we begin to live under the shadow of those declarations. But when we boldly speak truth, words of strength, purpose, and faith, our perspective shifts, our actions change, and our future begins to align with the very words we speak. The truth exists whether we acknowledge it or not, but it does not take root in our hearts until we declare it. A person can be surrounded by light, but if they keep their eyes closed, they will remain in darkness. In the same way, we can have victory, purpose, and strength within us. But if we do not speak it, if we do not claim it, we may continue to live as though we have none of it. Declaring the truth is not just about positive thinking. It is about aligning ourselves with reality, one that is greater than our circumstances, greater than our emotions, and greater than the limitations we place on ourselves. Think about a person who constantly says, "I am not good enough," "I will never succeed," or "I am always struggling." They may not realize it, but those words are reinforcing a mindset that shapes their actions. They begin to make decisions based on failure rather than possibility. They hesitate when opportunities arise, not because they lack ability, but because their words have created an internal belief that they are incapable. But if that same person begins to declare, "I am capable," or "I am strong and I have a purpose," something begins to shift. It may not happen overnight, but as those words take root, their mindset will begin to change and their actions will follow. We do not have to wait until we feel strong to declare strength. We do not have to wait until we see success to declare victory. Words shape reality, and often the breakthrough comes after the declaration, not before it. A farmer does not wait for a harvest before he plants seeds. He plants first, trusting that in time he will reap what he has sown. In the same way, when we speak truth over our lives, we are planting seeds of faith, belief, and confidence. And in due time, we will see the fruit of those words. Some may argue that words alone cannot change circumstances. But history has shown that every great movement, every transformation, every breakthrough began with words. Words spoken with conviction, words repeated until they took hold. Words that refused to bow to doubt and fear. When leaders throughout history declared freedom, justice, and hope, their words were not empty. They became the driving force behind change. In the same way, the words we speak over ourselves have the power to shift the direction of our lives. There will always be moments when circumstances contradict the truth we declare. We may say, "I am victorious," while facing setbacks. We may say, "I am strong," while feeling weak. We may say, "I am blessed," while struggling. But declarations of truth are not about ignoring reality. They are about choosing which reality we will live by. Will we be defined by our struggles, or will we be defined by something greater? The choice is ours. Even in the face of adversity, our declarations matter. A person who declares peace in the midst of chaos will walk differently than one who declares defeat. A person who declares faith in the face of fear will take bold steps rather than shrink back. A person who declares hope when all seems lost will inspire those around them. When we declare the truth over our lives, we are not only changing ourselves, we are changing the atmosphere around us. The words we speak today shape the person we become tomorrow. If we want to walk in confidence, we must speak confidence. If we want to walk in purpose, we must declare purpose. If we want to live in victory, we must declare victory. Because the truth is, what we declare, we eventually believe, and what we believe, we live out. So let us be intentional with our words. Let us speak truth not just once, but again and again, until it becomes ingrained in our hearts. Let us declare strength, purpose, and faith even when we do not feel it, because the words we speak today will shape the reality we live in tomorrow. Consistency is the key that unlocks the doors to transformation, growth, and success. It is not what we do once that changes our lives, but what we do repeatedly. The small, faithful actions we take every day, the words we speak again and again, and the habits we cultivate over time determine the results we see. Many people desire breakthroughs, whether in their personal lives, relationships, careers, or spiritual journeys, but they often underestimate the power of persistence. The truth is, breakthroughs are not usually the result of one dramatic moment. They come from the quiet, unseen commitment to staying the course, even when results are not immediately visible. A person who exercises once may feel energized for the day, but a person who exercises consistently will see their strength, endurance, and health transform. A person who studies for an hour may learn something new, but a person who commits to studying every day will develop wisdom and mastery. The same is true for the words we speak over our lives. Saying something positive once may feel good in the moment, but speaking truth over yourself every single day will reshape your mindset, build your confidence, and change the way you see the world. Too often people give up before they see results. They start strong, but when they do not see immediate changes, they grow weary and stop. They declare words of faith, but when circumstances remain the same, they doubt and revert back to old ways of thinking. But breakthroughs do not happen overnight. They happen when we remain steadfast, even when we do not yet see the fruit of our efforts. Think about water dripping onto a rock. A single drop may seem insignificant, unable to make any real impact. But over time, as the water continues to fall, it begins to wear down even the hardest stone. The consistency of those tiny drops, repeated over time, creates a lasting effect. This is how transformation happens in our lives. It is not always in the big, dramatic moments, but in the daily commitment to keep going, to keep believing, and to keep speaking truth even when nothing seems to change. There are times when people pray for a breakthrough, but do not realize that the key to unlocking it is persistence. They may ask for strength, but fail to consistently speak words of strength over themselves. They may desire confidence, but continue to repeat words of doubt. They may long for peace, but allow negative thoughts to dominate their minds. The breakthrough they seek is not being withheld from them. It is waiting for them to align their words, actions, and thoughts with the truth consistently until the shift occurs. Many of the greatest success stories are not about people who had instant results, but about those who refused to give up. They were not necessarily the most talented, the most gifted, or the most privileged, but they were the most persistent. They kept showing up. They kept speaking life. They kept believing. And eventually, their persistence paid off. Consider a person planting a seed. When they place it in the ground, they do not see immediate results. If they were to dig it up the next day to check if it had grown, they would ruin the process. Instead, they must water it daily, trusting that something is happening beneath the surface. Only with time and consistency does the seed break through the soil and grow into something strong. The same principle applies to the words we declare over our lives. When we speak words of faith, of purpose, of victory, we may not see an immediate change, but something is happening beneath the surface. Our minds are being renewed, our confidence is being strengthened, and our perspective is shifting. The longer we stay consistent, the stronger we become. And one day, what we have been speaking, believing, and working toward will become visible. It is easy to be motivated for a day or even a week, but real transformation requires consistency. The people who see breakthroughs are the ones who do not give up when progress is slow. Woo! They are the ones who wake up every day and choose to speak truth, even when emotions try to convince them otherwise. They are the ones who show up, who persist, and who refuse to let temporary setbacks define their journey. The truth is, the words we say repeatedly shape our reality. If we consistently declare strength, we will walk in strength. If we consistently declare victory, we will live in victory. If we consistently declare purpose, we will see our purpose unfold. The key is to keep going, to keep speaking, to keep believing, even when we do not see results right away. Because consistency is the force that unlocks every breakthrough. That the words we speak, the beliefs we hold, and the actions we take consistently shape the course of our lives. Every great transformation, every breakthrough, and every moment of victory begins with the power of the spoken word. What we declare over ourselves matters. It is not just about what we say once, but what we repeat every single day. Faith comes by hearing, and when we fill our ears and hearts with truth, we begin to rise above doubt, fear, and limitation. We must be intentional with our words, choosing to declare strength even when we feel weak, purpose even when we feel lost, and victory even when challenges arise. When we speak truth over our lives, we align ourselves with a greater reality, one that is not dictated by circumstances, but by faith. Consistency is the key. Breakthroughs do not come to those who start and stop, who waver between faith and doubt, but to those who persist, who keep speaking, keep believing, and keep walking forward, even when they do not yet see the results. So today and every day, let us be mindful of the words we declare. Let us speak life, not death. Let us speak faith, not fear. Let us speak victory, not defeat. Because the words we declare today will shape the reality we walk in tomorrow. Keep speaking, keep believing, and watch as your life transforms, one declaration at a time.